The Fan.
Hello and welcome into the Skraby Show for Friday, January 10th, 2025. This week has gone really fast. I don't know if everybody feels the same way, but I feel like this week has just flown by. I'm not going to lie, I may have said this Monday, but when I go on these long breaks, as we did over the holiday break, I feel at a certain point like, oh man, I can get used to doing nothing. I don't want to go back to work. And so on Sunday last week, I was kind of like dragging around because I didn't, I had to go back to work and I was just having fun doing nothing. And once I got here on Monday, I was fine and everything was great. And the week flew by. So I hope everybody else's week flew by. I know that there's this crazy stuff going on up in LA. The fires are fourth day of these fires, but I guess they're starting to make progress on everything. I'm watching the news right now, the two largest fires, according to CNN, is what we have on in here, still burning with limited containment. So there is still a long way to go. And we said this earlier in the week. We have our issues with LA. We have our issues with that county. But we have to put our issues aside for this because this is pretty serious. This is pretty crazy. And here in San Diego, we're kind of lucky, I'm knocking on wood, that it didn't happen here. Because we all know it can easily happen here too. So hopefully everybody is taking care of things out there and making sure that they're helping to not start a fire down here, because we know that can get crazy real fast. I remember the one, I don't remember the actual year. I think it was like 2004, 2005, but there was a huge fire. And I remember coming out of my house one day to go, I was going to Palomar College at the time. And I came out of my house and on my car was like an inch of soot. And it looked like snow. I didn't know what was going on. I knew that there were fires, but it was literally raining ash on our house and on my car and everything like that. And that gets a little scary. It's not something that I'm willing to venture into, because it does get very scary when you're in these things. My brother's actually a firefighter and he's done some of these wildfires before, and he was telling me about it and how these firefighters are basically just working around the clock all the time. They get very little sleep, very little break, but they do what they need to do to get this to stop. And the winds are still kind of strong, but I'm seeing that there is progress being made. So maybe it ends by the end of the weekend, hopefully sooner. I don't know. I'm not a firefighter, but appreciate every firefighter that is out there who has saved us and helped us and all of that. Oh, yes, Dominic says the Cedar Fire in 2003. Yes, that was the one. I graduated high school in 2003, so it was my first semester at Palomar College. I remember they canceled the entire week of class because at Palomar, we're out in San Marcos, it was close to everything over there. And I just couldn't believe what was happening here in San Diego. And then we had another one. I know someone's going to know the date of that one. And that one, didn't affect me as much in North County, but it definitely affected one of my friends. They had their family home burned down when that fire, the second fire, not the Cedar Fire, the other one that happened years later, they lost their house. And it was really difficult for them to get life back together. And I really hope that things are easy for these people who have lost their homes and have lost their businesses. I hope that, easy being a relative word, because I know it's not actually going to be easy, but it will help. I hope that it's going to go smoothly in the direction of getting back on their feet. So everybody think good thoughts for everything that's happening up in LA. I mean, it's almost like a movie that all of these fires are converging into one. It really does remind me of some sort of movie, and people aren't out of the woods yet. I actually was watching NBC earlier this morning, and I saw a guy who was at his house, and he took a bunch of video of the fire, and it looks like it just looks like it looks like a war. I hate to use the word war zone, but the video I saw was shocking as to what happens in the middle of these firestorms. And everybody stay safe. That's what I'll say about the fire and the firestorms. So hopefully things get a little bit better. Let's see. Ohio State is still leading the Cotton Bowl 7-0, 1:01 left to go in the second quarter, so they're about to halftime there. I gotta say, I don't know how many of you all are watching it, but it has been kind of boring, this bowl game. The Cotton Bowl, it started okay. We thought Ohio State was gonna pull away, but somehow Texas has kept it close. And they're doing a review right now. Anyway, 7-0 Ohio State. Oh, M. McKee says, I thought it was the Witchfire, but I didn't want to say something wrong. But the Witchfire in 2007 was the other one. That was also very scary. That's where my friend, that's the fire that my friend lost his childhood home in. And Steve Kerr actually lost his childhood home. I was reading earlier today that his mother's house burnt down, so that's scary. JJ Redick's house burnt down. Did read, though, that Kawhi Leonard's house is okay. I know that he left the team to go help his family and get things together, but it seems like his house is okay, but lots of other houses are not okay. Lots of businesses have been destroyed, and let's just all think good thoughts. Okay. Where should we go now? Let's go with Michael King, because that was the topic of conversation yesterday. That was the topic of conversation today. And Michael King, if you're just getting in your car, Michael King proposed a salary of $8.8 million to the Padres. The Padres proposed a 2025 salary of $7.325 million. So upon hearing this for the first time this morning, or upon reading this for the first time this morning, I was very confused as to why the Padres were not just allowing the maybe ace of your staff last year, one of the aces, maybe the ace of your staff last year, give him that extra money, give him the 8.8. But then the voice of reason, Tony Gwynn Jr., calmed me down before the show because I said, what does that mean? Why are they not giving him that $1.475 million? He deserves it. Why are they going to take into arbitration and possibly cause ill will? And Tony said, don't worry. They're going to be able to negotiate all the way up until the arbitration date next month. And maybe they're talking about an extension, or they're talking about locking him up long term. That could be it too. So again, it's more proof that I need to be patient, and it's more proof that I need to let things happen before I react to them. Because I was gonna say, like, this morning, my brain started racing, and I'm like, well, if you can't afford him for $1.475 more million, then they have no chance of re-signing him or extending him because they just don't have the money. But that could not be true. They could just be negotiating something else, something more long-term. And, the Padres need Michael King. The Padres absolutely need Michael King. I mean, and they're going to have him one way or the other because he is under control by the Padres through this year. And for anyone who thinks that they read the headline, Chris said it perfect earlier. You read the headline, Padres and Michael King can't come to a settlement. And you think, uh-oh, Michael King's going to be gone. But no, he's still under control with the Padres for one more year, and then he becomes a free agent. But I think if free agency is in the future for Michael King, I think the Padres are going to possibly lose out on bidding or not be able to bid enough. If Michael King has another fantastic year, his price tag is going to be crazy high. Crazy. Because he was that good last year. 7th in the Cy Young voting, over 200 strikeouts in his first full season as a starting pitcher. Let's see. Vader's father says, Skraby, Michael King just got a house in La Jolla. He's not going anywhere. Well, I would like to think that. I would like to think that he's not going anywhere if he bought a house in La Jolla. But it could just be a vacation home. Michael King's going to have a lot of money. He's going to have some vacation homes. But I do agree that Michael King wants to be here. And again, he will be here through the end of the season. But if they're able to come to some agreement before the arbitration and before the season starts, then I think they have a really good shot at locking him up longer term. You want to get in now rather than get in late. And I believe they need Michael King more than they need Dylan Cease at the moment, just because of what I said yesterday. Consistency. Michael King was more consistent last year than Dylan Cease was. Dylan Cease was great. He was really good at times, but he struggled at times too. And I'm seeing on the chat, Michael King's worth more than Dylan Cease. He may be worth more than Dylan Cease. But here's the thing we talked about last night. Arbitration numbers are based on what you've done so far. And Michael King only has one full starting season under his belt. He doesn't have a lot of starting numbers that will help him get paid. I mean, we talked again about it yesterday. Tarek Skubal won the AL Cy Young, had an amazing year, and he settled with the team for like $10 million. So it is what it is. And Tarek Skubal still has to go through one more year before he gets the free agency. I would like to see something happen before we get to spring training with Michael King. I have a good feeling about it, but I've also had good feelings about other stuff that haven't come true. So I'm not going to let my good feeling about this really cloud my outlook. But I do think that Michael King is something the Padres want to have for a very long time. And I would be very sad if they lost him in free agency next year. But you know what? I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself right now with the whole next year conversation because we need to get through 2025 first. And I do know Michael King will be on the team in 2025. That's really what I should care about right now. I think so. I shouldn't be worried about the future because we haven't gone there yet. And I've said this before, but in AA for me, one of the things is you don't try to get too worked up over things that haven't happened already. And I'm going to try to apply those principles to this as well. As you can tell, if you've been listening for a long time or if you're just listening for the first time, I am an emotional creature. So my thoughts change quite a bit. But in this case, I think I need to be patient. And I've been pretty good at being patient, I have to say. I think all of you out there think the same. So that is the Michael King conversation. And we'll have to wait and see. That's a lot of what we're doing right now. Waiting and seeing. So, all right. I'm Matt Skraby. You can watch me on YouTube if you search 97.3 The Fan. You can also go to Facebook, 97.3 The Fan, Twitch, 97.3 The Fan, X, 97.3 The Fan SD, or at Matt Skraby. It's on there as well for X. But when we get back, it's Friday. We're going to have a little fun. And I am going to try and come up with some rules about this NBA three-point shooting controversy that seems to be destroying the NBA. So I'm going to try to come up with some rules. Maybe you can give me some rules as well. But that's what we're going to do when we get back here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, guys, Craig
Crazy happenings in the Cotton Bowl. Just as I said the Cotton Bowl was boring, it has become a game. And I'm trying to get it just happened, so I'm trying to get the exact play because there's 8 seconds left in the half. I told you it was, 7-0 Ohio State just before I went to break. And now it's 14-7 Ohio State. And here is what happened. Ohio State actually, there it is. So Texas goes down the field and they score a touchdown with 29 seconds left. Then Texas kicks it off. It's a touchback. So Ohio State is on the 25-yard line and they actually end up hitting a 75-yard pass for a touchdown for Ohio State. So that's why they're at 14-7. It was crazy. There was 13 seconds left when the play was over, but 75 yards. And really what it was like some small running back screen that wasn't really much of anything, but he got in the open and he took it to the house. So it's 14-7 Ohio State right now. 7 seconds to go before the half. And lots of craziness happened. That was 2 touchdowns in 16 seconds. That's pretty fun. So all my trash talking about Ohio or about the Cotton Bowl for nothing, because now it's exciting. All right, I just got a couple texts from someone, and they were telling me. I guess I've been mentioning my friend has season tickets with the Rams, and they're emailing them and everything. And she just texted me saying that something was pretty cool that the Rams are doing. I'm trying to get it. Okay. She said the Rams are running free charter buses, so that is something for sure. They're going to, I guess they're going to allow Rams fans with tickets to go take a bus to Arizona for free. And I asked her for confirmation of this, but she also said that there are no hotel expenses either. You just have to have the ticket. So if that's the case, let me give a big ol' round of applause to the Rams. If that's the case, if they really are giving people free rides to Arizona and free hotel in Arizona, then I think that's commendable, because you don't really see that at all anymore in professional sports or even just business in general. So good job, Rams. I'm going to try to confirm that by the end of the show, but I trust her, so she's not lying to me, but that's what she heard. And so I guess you kind of have to figure out a way to get your fans to Arizona, because you had a home playoff game, number one, which is everything in the NFL. A home playoff game is everything. It just changes for teams. Teams always talk about how hard it is to go on the road and to win in the playoffs. So the Rams had a home game. Now they kind of have a semi-neutral site game, and they're trying to get their fans there. So I definitely think the Rams are doing what they can to get their fans there, to cheer their team on and get that home field advantage. I mean, it's obviously the fires are unfortunate, but it's unfortunate for the Rams that it happened this week, and they're going to have to move out of their home stadium and head to Arizona. So I'm not even going to go into it's not fair, because, life isn't fair, and there's much more important things in life than complaining about the Rams having to move from SoFi to Phoenix. But it wouldn't be bad if I got a free ride to Phoenix from LA and get a free hotel as well. Ed McKee says 6 hours in a charter would be worth it if the hotel is free. I agree. Although I do like driving. I'm a big driver. I like long road trips, like when I was driving up to the mountains to Redding area. On the way home, it was 13 hours. That's a little bit too long in one drive, but I did it. And I just love listening to podcasts. So I may even just, take advantage of the free hotel and drive out there in my own car. That's what maybe I'll do. I don't have tickets, and I'm not going to buy tickets either. But there you go. Rams are doing something good for their fans. Oh, she sent it back to me. I guess. Okay. So the Rams, apparently it's only 750 people. So they're limiting it, which is fine. 750 people is a lot of people. Each season ticket member will be eligible to register for a max of 4 bus passes per account. And, buses are going to depart from SoFi Stadium Monday morning around 7 a.m., and then they're going to return immediately after the conclusion of the game. So I don't know where the hotel thing came from, but I'm sure it is in there. Anyway, there you go. So it's true. And she also, my friend also tells me that Kelly Stafford is also arranging charters, but we're not sure about those details. Junior says 750 Rams fans sounds like a stretch. I would have agreed with you, Junior, until the Rams won the Super Bowl, and I heard from every single Ram fan after that they won the Super Bowl. They definitely got in my DMs. So there were more Rams fans that are out there than you think they are. Junior says he used to drive from Phoenix to San Diego all the time, weekly. That's a lot of driving in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I said I was going to come up with some ways to save basketball, and I'm not saying these are serious things, okay? I'm just saying that maybe the NBA can start thinking about this. And the ratings are down, and most people think it's because there are so many three-pointers being shot in the NBA right now. So how can the NBA fix three-point shooting? Or how can the NBA fix their game? Number one, I've said this to Tony before and Chris. They both hate it. Get rid of the three-point line. If you get rid of the three-point line, you are going to solve the problem of shooting threes, because there will be no 3 points anymore. There will just be 2 points. They're never going to remove the three-point line, but hey, that would be the easiest and quickest way for them to figure out what's going on with the three-point shooting barrage that happens every night in an NBA game. So number one, remove the three-point line. Number two, this is kind of like I don't know if people remember, I think it was Rock Jock, where they would have them play and they would have a basket all the way up. It was like 4 points, like 20 feet up or something. That's not what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say from Rock Jock. I think it was Rock Jock. Make 3-point zones. Now, I don't know where to put them, but I'm going to suggest you put one in each corner, and then you put one at the top of the key. If you want 3-point shooting to go down, you need designated areas to shoot from. And if you shoot from any area outside of the 3-point zone, it's a 2-pointer. I think that's not a bad idea. And again, these are all really silly ways that the NBA can fix their 3-point shooting problem. And 3-point zones, wouldn't think that would be bad. Number 3, limit the number of threes you can take. And then I'm going to say this too, because I don't want to put a limit on the teams and then, they run out of their 3 attempts in the first quarter. In the last 2 minutes of each half, you get unlimited threes. So you have a limit up until the last 2 minutes of each half, because the last 2 minutes of each half, then you can start trying to make a comeback or trying to get a bigger lead or something like that. But limit the number of threes you can take until 2 minutes left in each half. I don't really like that one. I'm just going to tell you right now. That's not my favorite one. Here's another one that I really don't. And now they just get progressively crazier from here. Number 4. If you shoot and miss 5 threes in a row as a team, then your opponent gets 2 technical foul shots. Yes, it's crazy, but would it help with the 3-point situation? Yes. Yes, it would. Because there are teams that are missing many, many threes, and some nights they're missing 10, 12 threes in a row as a team. So if you shoot and miss 5 threes in a row, your opponent gets 2 technical foul free throws. I think that's fair. Number 5. This is also one that I don't really really stand behind, but it was something that came to my mind. Designate 2 of the 5 players who can shoot threes. Like, you can't have... Okay, so on the Warriors, you got Steph Curry, who's going to be an automatic three-point shooter all the time. But you would need to use some strategy as to who could be your three-point shooter. And so that could be either Draymond Green, it could be Andrew Wiggins, it could be anybody on that Warriors team outside of Steph, because Steph is always going to be a three-point shooter. But I think that one is a little too far off base. But at the same time, if you're trying to limit the number of threes, then you have to limit the number of people that are going to be taking the threes. And the last one is maybe the most ridiculous one. And I don't even know if I want to say it, but I'll say it anyway. We're just having fun. Similar to Rock Jock, similar to that, you have certain spots on the floor that are 4-point shots. You don't have a 3-point shot anymore. You have a 4-point shot. And you have to be on those spots on the floor. So it's going to be a more difficult shot, but it's also going to... It's going to be a more difficult shot, but if you are going to make it, it's going to be worth your time because of the 4 points. Now, that one is ridiculous. I realize that. I think the one thing that they need to do really is to limit the number of threes. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's remove the three-point line. They're never going to do that. I don't know how they're going to fix the three-pointer problem in the NBA, but those are some ridiculous ideas as to how the NBA can fix them. I'm going to send this tape to Adam Silver. He's going to give me all of the credit for it, and Skrabinators will live on forever. Ooh, Dominic has a good one. You airball a 3, the other team gets the points. I like that one. Jacob has a 4-pointer, 4 pointers behind the half line. Nick says switch it around, make behind the arc worth 2 points and inside the arc worth 3 points. All right, I you know what? That's not bad at all. It would definitely force guys to start going inside. Roberto says the zone idea. Make it easier. Have a line where the 3-pointer becomes a 2-pointer again. A straight line. I would have to see it, but it's okay. Joseph, it's Pandora's box. Once opened, it can never be closed. Blue Meanie, move the line farther back. Another one. Moving backboard last 2 minutes every quarter. That is pretty funny. Moving the backboard around. Jacob says all of these are horrible. I didn't see you suggesting anything, Jacob. I did see something about... Oh, there it is. Another one. How about the MTV Rock Jock setup with 5-point shots and the hoop 20 feet up? That wouldn't work, but I did kind of suggest it. Junior, make the basketball weigh 20 pounds. That might work as well. Anyway, that's it. Those are my stupid rules about how to fix basketball. They're all really not feasible, but maybe we will get something done together, Skrabinators. I'm Matt Skraby. This is the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan. Halftime at the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State leads 14-7. They're going to get underway very soon. We're headed into our last segment, which is the Daily Gripe, which is also, we got some more angry flyers that I want to talk about. We're going to head into the final segment of the show, final segment of the week, which is weird, fun stories. So stick with me. Matt Skraby back with you shortly, 97.3 The Fan.
Quinn and Chris on the
YouTube people out there, they just saw me doing my air drums. I love doing air drums onto the mic. It's great. I don't know if anybody else thinks it's great, but I think it's great. Matt Skraby back with you. Final segment, Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan. Final segment of the week, back for 97.3 The Fan. We've dealt with some tough stuff this week, everybody. We've dealt with a lawsuit that was dropped, I believe, on Monday here in town. Also, we've been dealing with the fires, so that is also a bummer. The new year kind of starting a little bad, gotta say. Not really liking how the new year is shaping up so far. We're 10 days into it. We've already had 2 major events here in Southern California that did not work out for people. And I'm hoping things get better, starting like now. Did you hear, if you were listening to the radio, you heard the commercial about TGL, the golf league. And I have been meaning to talk about this. I just didn't know what to say about it, honestly, because if you don't know, TGL is a new golf league that combines technology with teams from players from the PGA Tour, and they have these 2-hour weekly competitions that are on ESPN, and it's like virtual golf. So basically they have a different hole that is virtual, and everybody hits their ball, or I actually don't know the exact format. I'm going to have to watch one of these, but it's virtual golf. And I don't know how to feel about this. Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are actually behind this whole thing. They're the ones who started it. And if this thing takes off, good for them. But I don't know that it's going to take off. I'm not really sure that this is what people want. And I got to give them credit, though. They did pull in a lot of big names for this. I mean, when you have Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy heading it up, then you're going to get the big names. But like there's 6 teams. The Atlanta team has Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, Billy Horschel, Lucas Glover. The Boston team, Keegan Bradley, Rory McIlroy, Hideki Matsuyama, Adam Scott, Jupiter, Tom Kim, Tiger Woods, Max Homa, Kevin Kisner. LA Golf Club, Sahith Theegala, Tommy Fleetwood, Colin Morikawa, Justin Rose. New York's Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele, Cameron Young. Why is Xander Schauffele in the New York one? And then the Bay Golf Club is Min Woo Lee, Wyndham Clark, Ludwig Aberg, and Shane Lowry. So big names, huge names. I think that the names involved may get people paying attention to this, but I'm going to have to see how this works out. I'm just not sure that it's what we want. Virtual golf seems cool, but I don't really want to watch professionals play virtual golf. I want to watch them play like real golf courses. But some of these holes look pretty cool, to be honest. If you're looking at, like, one of them is called the Claw, which is awesome. And then there's one called the Spear, par 5, 604 yards. So if you want to look at these holes, or if you want to look at what this is all about, then go to tglgolf.com. Didn't mean to give them a commercial, but they got a commercial. Okay, so I told you before the break, we have another crazy, really unfortunate incident for people on a plane, a JetBlue flight. It was scheduled to depart Boston's Logan International Airport for San Juan, Puerto Rico. But on Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. local time, the plane was taxiing to take off, and a man stood up and then opened an overwing exit door, which deployed the emergency slide. And so everybody had to get off the plane. They had to do some stuff. It just ruined everybody's trip because this guy had to stand up and open a door on the plane. According to the FAA, this is even worse. The passenger had reportedly been arguing with his girlfriend shortly before he rose from his seat, proceeded down the aisle, and opened the exit door. Another passenger said that the man got mad, got up, walked down the center aisle, grabbed the emergency door, ripped it off, completely off. An FBI agent actually who was on board tackled the suspect, who was then restrained until the Massachusetts State Police could get there. I guess the guy just wanted to get off the plane because he was in a fight with his girlfriend. I cannot believe this guy caused all that problem for one thing. Like, at least just say, hey, let's not talk the rest of the flight. Or at least say, let's sit in different places. But replacing I'm reading more about the slide itself. Replacing a slide that's actually been deployed is very costly. I would think it would be. I don't know if you've ever seen these like slides actually deploy before, but it would be really, really hard to roll that thing back up and put it in the door. Not to mention, like, are these reusable things? Because I'm thinking if you use an emergency slide on a plane, that means the plane's not going to be reused because it's crashed. So, this is just stupid. Like, just sit in your seats. Don't get up. Don't ruin everything for everybody else. It just really bothers me when people do that. Daily Gambit. Or Daily Gambit. Daily Gripe. Maybe that's it. Let's go to streaming apps right now because we didn't get to talk about this during the show. Disney is going to roll out an ESPN app by itself, and it's going to be launched before the new football season starts next year. They actually were trying to develop a separate app with Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Fox, but they decided that they are not going to do that anymore. And they're going to go with this ESPN app, which I kind of think this is a good idea. The app, if you're going to have sports and you're going to put sports on an app, put it in one place. Don't make us go to several different places all the time to watch all of these different things. Like, if it could happen, I think there should be some sports service that takes all of the different sports channels and you could just go to that one service and you could click on this game and it'll take you to Prime. Click on this game, it'll take you to ESPN. Click on this, whatever, take you there. That's not going to happen, but I think that would help. If they really, really, really want us to start using these apps and to start really getting into streaming as much as ESPN is trying to, because they're basically trying to get all of their stuff streaming. And it's not going to be cheap because all of these apps are not cheap, and we keep having to buy these apps. But Disney hasn't really said the price yet, but the article I'm reading in Yahoo Finance is saying that the price is going to be around $40 a month or above $40 a month. The $30 a month is something they would need, according to this source, to just break even. And so you're going to get all of your stuff that you watch on ESPN, all those sports that you watch on ESPN, on this ESPN app, and you're going to have to pay $30 or $40 a month for it. Which, again, is very annoying because they just keep finding new ways to make us pay. I don't want to go into the big business Skraby rant, but this is where we're at. This is really where we're at. We're at a place where if we want anything in this world, we're going to have to pay for it. We talked about it earlier. Spirit Airlines, one time I took that. And I didn't bring my boarding pass to the airport because Southwest, you always just print out your boarding pass when you were checking in. And they made me pay for printing the boarding pass. I mean, that's just something that should not happen. I don't know what happened to just common things being a part of the fare, but that's just not it anymore. It's not it anymore. Dominic says, Disney owns everything, and they have a bunch of different apps. They could have it all in one place for one price, but they nickel and dime ya. That is true. They do nickel and dime ya, and they could have it in one place, but until we come together and we push back towards these companies with these streaming apps, then we are going to continue to pay. And even the source in this article said people have always paid a lot for sports. They didn't always know it back in the day when 95% of this country had paid TV bundles. Probably 40% to 50% of the cost of that bundle was sports programming, but now they can do so explicitly. These people know we'll pay for it. Will I pay $40 a month for an app to watch these ESPN games? I don't know. We'll have to see when we get there. Because I do watch ESPN. I do watch Monday Night Football. We do have it on here in the studio. I'm watching the Cotton Bowl right now. And I just don't know that I'm using ESPN enough to warrant a $40 app. Someone's saying use an illegal stream. You can, but I don't know how this is going to work in the future when things are being streamed through the app only. I don't know how that's going to work, but something else for us to all look forward to. Another app and another bill. It must be getting to the end of the show because I'm starting to do my ranting again. Cotton Bowl. Ohio State 14-7, 10:48 left in the third quarter. Texas is going to get the ball, I believe. Ohio State's going to get the ball. It's 4th and 6 for Texas. So that game still happening. I think that brings us to the end of the week. I think I'm all talked out, which is hard to do. I do not get talked out very often. But this week, I was telling everybody on the chat earlier, I was kind of tired today because I was rubbing my eyes and yawning. But this week has been fast and furious. We've had 5 Skraby shows this week, which is awesome. And we're going to do it again next week, everybody.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
M. McKee said, the ESPN Disney Plus Hulu bundle used to be like $10. It's like 3 times that now. Yeah, I know. That's why I got rid of Hulu the other day. I'm done with Hulu. It's costing me too much money. But all the other streaming services that I pay for, I have to keep. I can't get rid of Netflix. It's just not going to happen. Can't get rid of, what's the other ones I have? I have Max. I guess I could get rid of Max. Max does have good stuff on it. Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has some good stuff, too. I don't know. What should I get rid of, everyone? I have Peacock. That's free through my phone service. I got Max, got Paramount, got Netflix, got Prime. I think that's about it. Might have to get Apple Plus for the MLS games. I'm not sure about that one yet. I'm going to try to see if I can finagle some way to get a pass or something like that. All right. Daily Gambit today is when people... This is a situation I came across this morning. It was with one of my friends, and things were getting kind of testy a little bit, I could say. And the Daily Gripe, without me going into the full situation, is when people don't listen to your words. My friend may even be listening right now. But listen to people's words. They're often telling you exactly what you want to know. But if you hear what you only want to hear, then you're never going to get past whatever mental block in your head. So listen to people's words. Like, don't put words in people's mouth. And I know this is very specific to me right now because of what happened with my friend. And we're going to still be friends and everything. But first off, if you have a problem, come to me. Tell me. Don't go talking behind my back and trying to get information. It's not how it works. So maybe not the, M. McKee says, you get used to it when you're a parent. My daily gripe is that Skraby called it the Daily Gambit. Is that true? Did I call it the Daily Gambit? Skraby's never been married. Okay, maybe this daily gripe is going to change at some point because I guess I'm wrong about this one. Did I call it the Daily Gambit? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for calling it the Daily Game, but it's definitely the Daily Gripe. So that's it. Thank you to everyone for joining us this week, and thank you to all of you who have joined me for the Skraby Show. I'll be back Monday, and so will everybody else. We actually have that Monday Night Football game, so a short show, but Ben and Woods will start the week off at 6 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan. Have a great, safe weekend, everybody.